Hey guys, what's up? It's Kyle here. I want to do a movie review on Thor, The Dark World, I think. Yeah, Thor, The Dark World. No spoilers. No spoilers. So if you have not seen it, don't worry. I'm not going to spoil anything. You can still watch this video without me running anything. But I have to say, going into the sequel here with Thor 2, I was a bit leery. I wasn't sure. I was kind of skeptical if I would enjoy this. Because with the first Thor movie, I had some doubts. One of the problems I had with the first Thor movie was that the first Thor movie was good, but to me it felt rushed. It felt like the directors and everything involving with that film just felt like rushed, and it felt like, it really wasn't important because what they really wanted to get to was Avengers. When I watched the first Thor movie, it was like a step. It was like they're like, this is Thor, God of Thunder. He uses a hammer and he destroys evil. This is his brother Loki, and he tries to take over the world. Okay, that's it. Let's get to Avengers now. That's how I felt with the first Thor movie, and to me, it's just like Thor's a great character, and the movie just felt so rushed, and it felt like a stepping stone, and it just felt like they just didn't care about this movie at all because they really wanted to get to Avengers. So with that, I had some doubts going into the sequel here for Thor. And I have to say, after seeing it last night, midnight release, well, not midnight release, but last night, Friday night, my skepticism and fears and doubts or whatever were completely dissolved after watching this film. To me, Man of Steel, which came out earlier this summer, I thought was like the best superhero movie I've seen this year. But after seeing Thor the other day, I can honestly say that Thor, The Dark World, I will put on par with Man of Steel. It's one of the best superhero movies, as the best superhero movie I've seen this year of 2013. No doubt. One of the things I really loved about this movie was that, unlike the first one, they took their time. They took their time with the characters. Even though these some of these characters are reoccurring characters that you've already seen in Avengers and in the first Thor movie, you still got to know them a little bit better, I felt, in this film rather than you did the first one. They took their time with the characters. They had a way of kind of reintroducing you to the characters without literally having to reintroduce you to the characters. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, you knew who Thor was, but you found out more about him, and you knew more about him, unlike in the first film, because like I said, they took their time in this movie. One of the things I was completely just, fascinated with about this film was the world of Asgard, the home world of Thor. There are a lot of movies that have great fantasy worlds, like Avatar or Star Wars, the Lord of the Rings films, just fantasy worlds that are just, that just grabs your attention as a moviegoer and just like say, man, make you think, wow, I wish I could live in a world like this, or man, it'd be cool if we had a world like this. Asgard, I would put up there on the top of that list as one of those fantasy worlds that you just kind of get into, and you just kind of wish, like, man, this would be cool if a world like this existed, or if it was real, kind of like thing. Asgard's just a beautiful fantasy world and place. It's really cool. And even the other worlds and stuff. And that was one thing. Another big thing I liked about the movie too was that it took you away from Earth. The whole setting of landscape, I would say, of this movie was in Asgard and other different different worlds. That wasn't Earth. So even though there were some other parts that they did use Earth for, but Earth really wasn't the main focus until towards the end of the film. Like I said, which again I won't spoil. But I did like that. I have to give one thing I have to say. I have to give credit to is the character Loki. Tom, I forgot his last name. Is it Tom Hiddleston? Tom Hiddleston, whatever. Who plays the character Loki? I think he makes the character Loki so lovable. To me, I think Loki is probably one of the few, if not only villain I can think of that you truly love as a villain. He's a lovable bad guy. I mean, sure, he's evil, but you really can't hate the character Loki. I mean, you learn to love him. I mean, when you look at how Loki first started in the first Thor movie, and then in Avengers, and then into the second Thor movie here, you really get to love the character overall. Just to see his progression from, these three films, you really get to love the character Loki, and just to see how he's kind of evolved into becoming more of a key player in these Marvel films that they're doing. So I really enjoy the character Loki a lot. One of the big things I have to say about this movie, which I did not expect, hilarious. The dialogue and the funny stuff in this film is great. This, to me, I think this is one of the, if you want to say like what's the funniest Marvel movie, Iron Man 1 was one of them. Iron Man 3, you could probably say, was pretty comical. This one I think cuts the cake. I think this one is on par with like the funny skits in Avengers, or Iron Man 1, or whatever Marvel movie that you find to be have hilarious moments. The comedy in here is solid, and it's not too much of it, but it's enough to keep you entertained, with the action and other things going on. So it's a lot of a blend of action, comedy. It's a good balance between the two of these things here. And then last but not least, I have to say I like the villains in this movie. They basing off the Dark Elves story arc from the comics. The Dark Elves are some creepy but yet cool villains. They're very creepy, especially when you see the little face mask. They wear like these little masks that has like no emotion. It's just like blackless eyes, soulless eyes, and just like this straight like line that goes across the mouth. It's just like they look very spooky. Very, very spooky. But they had some pretty cool gadgets. And then, like I said again, the movie was action-packed, and I love Natalie Portman. I have not seen Natalie Portman in a movie in a long time. I'd probably say maybe I haven't seen Natalie Portman act in a movie since the first Thor. Maybe she's acting in something else in between the first Thor until now, and I haven't noticed or paid attention. But either way, it was good to see Natalie Portman again. She looks great and just as cute as ever. God, I love her. Anyway, you guys give me your thoughts in the box below about Thor. Like I said, this is spoiler-free zone. I did not spoil anything. I just gave you my compliments. I think it was a great movie. And like I said, I had my doubts about it going into it, but it's changed my perspective. Much better than the first Thor. Comical, great action. Love the fantasy world. I think for any other post-Marvel movie to come, this is the best one. Post-Avenger Marvel movie, this is the best one. This was way better than Iron Man 3 in terms of post Avengers movie. This was better than Iron Man 3, hands down. You guys let me know what you think in the box below. If you've seen Thor, The Dark World, in the box below. Comment, subscribe. Peace.